The tsunami created from the dinosaur killing asteroid impact on our Earth had mile-high waves and reached halfway across the world. The dinosaur killing asteroid, slamming into Earth 66 million years ago, also triggered a jumbo-sized tsunami with mile-high waves in the Gulf of Mexico, whose waters traveled halfway around the world, according to what a new study has found. Researchers discovered evidence of this monumental tsunami after analyzing cores from more than 100 sites worldwide and creating digital models of the monstrous waves after the asteroid's impact in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Its tsunami was strong enough to disturb and erode sediments in ocean basins halfway around the globe. This is what lead author Molly Range, who conducted the modeling study for a master's thesis on the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences in University of Michigan, said in a statement. The research on the mile-high tsunami, which was previously presented at the 2019 American Geophysical Union annual meeting, was published online Tuesday, October 4th in the journal AGU Advances. Range dove into the tsunami's journey immediately following the asteroid's collision. Based on earlier findings, her team modeled the asteroid that measured 8.7 miles across and was zooming at 27,000 miles an hour, or 35 times the speed of sound, when it struck our Earth. After the asteroid hit, many life forms died. The non-avian dinosaurs went extinct. Only birds, which are living dinosaurs, survive today. And about 3/4 of all plants and animal species were wiped out as well. Researchers are aware of many of the asteroid's pernicious effects, such as sparking raging fires that cooked animals alive and pulverizing sulfur-rich rocks that led to lethal acid rain and extended global cooling. To learn more about the resulting tsunami, Range and her colleagues analyzed the Earth's geology, successfully analyzing 120 boundary sections, or marine sediments laid down just before or after the mass extinction event, which marked the end of the Cretaceous period. These boundary sections matched the predictions of their model of wave height and travel, Range said. The initial energy from the impact tsunami was about up to 30,000 times larger than the energy released by the October 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake tsunami that had more than 230,000 victims. Once the asteroid struck Earth, it created a 62-mile-wide crater and kicked up a dense cloud of dust and soot into the atmosphere. Just 2.5 minutes after the strike, a curtain of ejected material pushed a wall of water outside, briefly making 2.8 miles tall. Wave that crashed down as the ejecta plummeted back to Earth, according to the simulation. At the 10-minute mark, a 0.93 mile high tsunami, that's 1.5 kilometers high, the tsunami wave about 137 miles away from the impact site, swept through the Gulf in all directions. An hour after the impact, the tsunami had left the Gulf of Mexico and rushed into the North Atlantic. 4 hours after the impact, the tsunami passed through the Central American Seaway, a passage that separated North from South America at the time, and into the Pacific. A full day of the asteroid's collision, the waves had traveled through most of the Pacific and the Atlantic, entering the Indian Ocean from both sides and touching most of the globe's coastlines 48 hours after the strike. The tsunami power. After impact, the tsunami radiated mostly to the east and northeast, gushing into the North Atlantic Ocean, as well as to the southwest via the Central American Seaway, flowing into the South Pacific Ocean. Water traveled so quickly that that it likely exceeded 0.4 miles an hour, a velocity that can erode the seafloor's fine-grained sediments. Other regions largely escaped the tsunami's power, including the South Atlantic, the North Pacific, the Indian Ocean, and what is now the Mediterranean Sea. According to the team's models, the simulations showed that the water speeds in these areas were less than 0.4 miles an hour threshold. The team even found outcrops or exposed rocky deposits from the impact event on eastern New Zealand's North and South Islands, a distance of more than 7,500 miles from the Yucatan crater in Mexico. Originally, scientists thought that these outcrops were from local tectonic activity, but due to their age and location in the tsunami's modeling route, the study's researchers pinned it to the asteroid's massive waves. Range said, "We feel these deposits are recording the effects of the impact tsunami, and this is perhaps the most telling confirmation of the global significance of this event." While the models did not assess coastal flooding, they did reveal that open ocean waves in the Gulf of Mexico would have exceeded 328 feet, and waves would have reached heights of more than 32.8 feet as a tsunami approached the North Atlantic's coastal regions and parts of South America's Pacific coast, according to the statement. As the water became shallower near the coast, the wave heights would have risen dramatically. And depending on the geometries of the coast and the advancing waves, most coastal regions would be inundated and eroded to some extent, the authors wrote. Any historically documented tsunamis pale in comparison with such global impact. This is by Laura Gegel on Live Science. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account since YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.